It's Conduit News Radio with Paul Harrell.
You know, we got the midterms. They're coming up. They are really close, and the stakes, I think, are pretty high. I just wanted to have somebody who's, following this as well on the program, talk a little bit about it. We have Anita Wells on the line. Anita is the first district Republican chair, and she joins us now via phone. Anita, thanks for coming on.
Hey, Paul. I think this is a great way to start the week before the midterm elections.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming on. So, what are you hearing on the ground from fellow Republicans? What are they saying about these midterm elections? Are they excited? Is what we heard true after the Kavanaugh situation? Republican voter enthusiasm really was on the rise?
Well, I really think that the Republicans have the momentum going into the election, and my only concern, we always have to be concerned about voter apathy, getting the people to the polls. We had the turnout in 2016 when candidate Donald Trump was on the ballot. And however, were they voting for Donald Trump or were they voting against Hillary Clinton? And so this time we don't have a Hillary Clinton running. So who are the folks going to vote against? So we have to make sure they're going to the polls to vote for somebody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that, and but I do think that President Trump at some of these rallies across the country, he has essentially said, "Look, I'm not on the ballot, but I kind of am." And so if you want the good policies to continue, then you got to vote. You got to vote for your Republicans. You can't vote for the Democrat. If they're going to be voting against anybody, Nancy Pelosi comes to mind. I know that's essentially what they've tried to tie Clark Tucker to in the 2nd District, running against Republican incumbent French Hill. And I think French Hill is going to go back. I think the people of the Central Arkansas are going to send him back. But it's really important. Let me ask you this, Anita. As a Republican, did you think during the primary that Donald Trump was going to be as successful as he's been so far?
I did not. And so I'm very happy and satisfied with the direction that we're going. And he's really made the progress that we've needed in the U.S. politics. And so people have to realize that U.S. politics, there's a hierarchy there, and it goes all the way down to our local levels. And so we have to do our part, and we have to vote in every election, and that's where the change comes from. So really, basically, we're tied to Donald Trump. Donald Trump needs us. He needs that majority in the Senate and the House, and really it all starts down at the local grassroots level, the local level, JPs even.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that. And I think what we could be doing here, as we're being broadcast, obviously digitally on the internet, also to radio stations across Arkansas that we're very grateful to have as affiliates. Everybody knows somebody that doesn't live in Arkansas, and you probably know, if you think, you're probably going to figure out, I know somebody in one of these battleground states, like a Senate race. Let's talk about a Senate race for a second. You got Missouri, Claire McCaskill. She needs to go away, right? You have Marsha Blackburn. We got to keep that Tennessee. Got to keep Tennessee red. Anybody in Arkansas know anybody in West Virginia? Tell them to get out and go vote against Joe Manchin is what I would say. South Dakota, not to mention, what about these House districts in California? They're saying that's where the Democrats might pick up the most ground, might pick up the most seats. Does your friend in California, do they live in these districts? Call them, tell them, hey, listen, get out and go vote. This is a national movement here, and if we want things to continue to progress the way they're going, you have to get out and vote. Anita,
right.
Are you there with us? Okay.
Yes,
yeah.
I am. I'm here. And so I would personally like to bring it to a local level, just to give an example of voter apathy or voter not being informed. In Greene County, and I may be changing topic here, but in Greene County we had a JP race in the primary elections. The runoff, we had 7 voters for one candidate and 15 voters for another candidate.
Wow. And
so that's 22 votes. So my question, why do people view JP races as unimportant. JP positions are a part of that hierarchy that I'm talking about in the United States government. So, Paul, what would be your first thought if you received 7 votes?
Oh, I would be like, I have a mandate from the people. No, I would be pretty. I don't know. I'd be pretty disappointed. That really nobody really cares about. No, and maybe people just don't know. JPs, they're responsible for what goes on in your county. They're going to set tax policy. They're going to do a lot of stuff.
Exactly. And so then again, Donald Trump in the Senate, the majority in the Senate and the House of conservatives, they need our support on a local level. We have to make every vote count, and every election is important, and people need to know that. So, we have to get out the vote is so important.
Yeah.
And that's one example.
Well, Anita, I really appreciate you coming on. I know it's it's exciting out there. Can you, real quick before you go, can you tell us a little bit about how the Republican Party is trying to expand in maybe some of the Delta counties in the 1st District as you go further south? What's the progress? What's the update on that?
Well, we really had a lot of success in southern Arkansas. We have candidates who are running on the state level, state representatives, Ricky Lattimore in District 11, and we have Jason Dobson running in the Helena, Stuttgart area. Then that goes down to DeShay County. So we have people who are running now that we haven't had people in the past, so that makes a big difference. And on another note, we had the 1st Congressional District Republican Party of Arkansas meeting this Saturday in Newport, and we had that in Jackson County, and there's 29 counties in 1st District, and we had well over half of the counties represented. And DeShay County, Dumas, they were there. Chico County, Lake Village was there. Helena, folks from Helena were there. Monroe County. So people in the Delta we're all networking together and becoming that team that we need in Arkansas. And so the Delta is really growing. As a matter of fact, October 30th in Dumas, DeShay County is having their Lincoln Day dinner, and Rick Crawford will be the speaker at that Lincoln Day dinner. So folks are active down in the South and the Delta. And so we're really seeing a change there.
Anita Wells, I appreciate it. It's always great to have you on, and I appreciate the work that you're doing in the 1st District.
Okay. Thank you, Paul, for having me on. Do I have one more minute that I can say something?
Yeah, what else? What else you got? Yeah.
Well, I really have a personal concern is the vote for the Arkansas Supreme Court candidates. There's not going to be a D or an R beside the names. People have to be informed about the Arkansas Supreme Court ticket and the people that are running for that. And so, we need a constitutional conservative for that position. And I just hope that people will be informed and know exactly who they're going to vote for for the Supreme Court when they go to vote next week.
All right, yeah, I think that's a very, very good point. Matter of fact, on Thursday, I think we have booked David Sterling. I think is going to be on the program on Thursday. Talk about, he's the candidate, one of the candidates in that race between him and Courtney Goodson, and we'll be talking with David Sterling. Anita, you have a great week. Okay.
Thank you, Paul.
All right.
Good talking to you.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Thanks.
Me too.
Bye-bye.
All right. So it's always great to talk to her. Get out and vote. Call your friends. If they live in other states, if they're in these battleground states, just do it. One thing, I think they say politics is taboo. Don't believe it. That's what people say when they just want people to remain. They don't want us to talk to one another. They just want us to get mad at each other. Just talk to somebody. You don't have to be. Don't go into it wanting to start a fight, but just go in with the facts, going with the truth.